Welcome to Timeless Wisdom Podcast.
It's great to be diving into this topic today.
Absolutely. Have you ever felt just completely certain about something, so sure that, you wouldn't even really consider another viewpoint?
Definitely. Or maybe the opposite, where you face something tough and just think, well, this is fated, nothing I can do.
Right. Those feelings, they're quite common, aren't they? And today we're looking at a really powerful verse from the Quran that speaks to exactly that. It's chapter 2, verse 88.
A pivotal verse.
Our goal really is to unpack this one phrase. Our hearts are encased. It sounds simple, maybe, but what does it truly mean for us? For you, listening right now, seeking clarity.
Exactly. We're using the Quran itself as our guide here.
So this phrase, our hearts are encased. What's the core idea? The sources point to a couple of interpretations.
That's right. Two main strands of meaning come through. The first one is about pride, really. Feeling so confident, maybe even arrogant in what you already believe.
To the point you just shut down.
Precisely. You shut down to any new guidance, any different perspective, like someone offering directions, but you're convinced you know the way, even if you're lost.
I can picture that. Almost like wearing blinkers, maybe? You only see straight ahead, your own path.
Yeah, or like you said earlier, armor. It feels protective, but it stops anything good from getting in too. Have you seen that happen?
Oh, for sure. In everyday life, absolutely. Maybe someone's dead set on a career path and ignores advice, or even in civil disagreements, they just won't hear the other side.
It's that closing off, a self-imposed barrier.
Okay, so that's one meaning. What's the second interpretation?
The second one shifts the focus. It's less about pride in belief and more about, making excuses for disbelief.
How so?
It's when someone says something like, my heart is sealed, I can't believe God made me this way.
So blaming God or destiny.
Exactly. It becomes a way to dodge personal responsibility for one's choices and actions. It's not my fault I don't believe. My heart is encased.
That's quite a different angle. It sounds like a way to feel helpless, maybe. Or to justify staying put.
It can be. It's a tempting line of thought, isn't it? If things aren't going well spiritually, it can feel easier to say, it's out of my hands, rather than look at our own part in it.
Definitely a trap. But the Quran, as you'd expect, has something to say about this claim, right?
Oh, absolutely. Allah's response is immediate and very clear in the verse.
What does it say?
It follows right after their claim. No, indeed, Allah has cursed them for their disbelief, so little do they believe.
No, indeed. So a direct refutation.
A complete rejection of their excuse. And the key part is why they are cursed, it says, for their disbelief.
So it's not arbitrary, it's consequence.
Precisely. The curse here isn't some random punishment. It means being distanced from Allah's mercy, from His guidance, because they persistently rejected the truth when it came to them.
Like ignoring warnings.
Exactly like ignoring warning signs. You ignore them long enough, and eventually there's a consequence. It wasn't preordained failure. It was the result of continuous choices. Their disbelief led to this state.
That distinction is crucial. It's not God sealing hearts randomly, but hearts becoming sealed as a result of repeatedly turning away.
And this helps clear up a common point of confusion. People sometimes take other verses out of context.
You mean the ones like, God leaves whoever He will to stray and guides whoever He will? Verse 35.08, I think.
That's the one. People misuse it to say, see, it's all up to God, I have no say. But that's missing the bigger picture the Quran provides.
So the Quran itself clarifies this. It explains who is left to stray and why.
Yes, exactly. It's not random. Other verses specify the characteristics of those who deprive themselves of guidance through their own actions and choices.
Okay, like what kind of characteristics?
So for instance, verse 16.107 mentions those who preferred the worldly life over the hereafter.
Prioritizing the temporary over the eternal.
Right. When the immediate fleeting pleasures or gains become the main focus, overshadowing spiritual growth or connection with Allah, that preference itself becomes a barrier.
That really hits home today, with so much focus on materialism and instant gratification.
It does. Then you have verse 2.258, which points to the unjust, those who commit dhulm, wrongdoing, oppression.
So how we treat others impacts our connection to God.
Deeply. Injustice, violating people's rights. It creates a spiritual blockage. It's hard to feel that divine connection when you know you've wronged someone, isn't it?
Absolutely. It feels heavy, obstructive.
And another key one is in verse 9.24. It talks about the fasiqun, the corrupt, the rebellious, specifically those who prioritize worldly attachments.
What kind of attachments?
Things like family, wealth, business, homes, prioritizing them over Allah, His messenger, and striving in His cause.
So it's not that those things are bad in themselves.
Not at all. But it's about the order of love and loyalty, what truly holds the number one spot in your heart. When push comes to shove, what guides your decisions? If it's consistently worldly things over Allah's guidance, that's a problem.
Wow. So disbelief, injustice, wrong priorities. These are the things that, according to the Quran, lead to someone being distanced from guidance. Not God just deciding arbitrarily.
Exactly. It all circles back to our choices, our free will.
Which is such a core concept in Islam, isn't it? This idea that we do have agency.
Absolutely fundamental. While some things are outside our control, our biology, natural disasters, Islam teaches we have full agency in the realm of our beliefs and actions, our choices.
That's the basis for accountability.
Precisely. That freedom to choose is why we will be asked on the Day of Judgment. Allah gives us the guidance, shows us the path, warns us of the consequences, but He doesn't force belief. The choice is ours.
So responsibility lies squarely with us. We can't really point fingers at destiny for our shortcomings in faith or action.
We really can't. And the path to benefiting from Allah's guidance involves consciously choosing to align ourselves with His rules, striving to avoid those traits, disbelief, injustice, skewed priorities. It's about cultivating an open, receptive heart.
It also brings up another important point, Allah's independence. Our belief or disbelief. It doesn't affect Him, does it?
Not in the slightest. Allah is Ghani, self-sufficient. As verse 3.18 powerfully states, He Himself witnesses His oneness, as do the angels and people of knowledge, upholding justice. He is the Almighty, the All-Wise.
So our faith.
That's
entirely for our benefit. It's our connection, our salvation, our peace. It's a treasure we gain for ourselves, not something Allah needs from us.
Understanding that is quite liberating, actually. It makes faith a personal journey of growth, not just an obligation performed for someone else.
Beautifully put. And this understanding naturally leads to thinking about, well, what can we do about it? How do we keep our hearts open and avoid becoming encased?
Right, the practical steps. What can listeners take away and apply? Okay, first and foremost, self-reflection. Regularly. Honestly ask yourself, am I resistant to new ideas, especially guidance from the Quran and Sunnah? Am I really open?
That requires humility, doesn't it? Being willing to see our own blind spots.
Definitely. Second, consciously take ownership of your choices. Actively avoid blaming fate or others for your spiritual state. Recognize your free will and use it wisely.
Empowering, even if challenging.
Third, actively seek knowledge. Don't be passive about your faith. Read the Quran with understanding, study the Prophet's life, seek knowledge from reliable sources. It's a continuous journey.
So be proactive learners.
Yes. Fourth, focus on justice and compassion in your dealings. How you treat others matters spiritually. Be fair, be kind. Strive to mend relationships where there's injustice.
Our ethics and spirituality are linked.
Inextricably. And finally, keep checking your priorities. What really comes first in your heart and your actions? Is it Allah and His guidance, or are worldly things consistently taking precedence? Make a conscious effort to prioritize the eternal.
These are really valuable, actionable steps. It brings it all together.
It's about integrating this understanding into daily life.
This whole discussion around verse 2.88 really underscores that deep link between our choices, Allah's guidance, and ultimately our well-being, both here and in the hereafter.
Indeed, the Quran provides such clear, timeless wisdom on the human condition, emphasizing personal accountability and the absolute importance of keeping our hearts open to the truth.
It gives you clarity, a path forward.
And that's what we hope listeners take away, a deeper sense of clarity and purpose on their own journey.
We really encourage you to reflect on these principles, see how they resonate in your own life, your own heart.
And if you'd like more reflections like this, drawing practical wisdom from Islam for personal growth, do subscribe to our channel, The Broke Entrepreneur.
The Quran's wisdom is timeless. Apply it today.